Good day, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a special day, May 7, which means that it is Johann Brahms's birthday. Johann Brahms, the great German composer and pianist, who I've always loved his music, read a lot about him. He was born in May 7, 1833 in Hamburg, Germany. That would make him 192 years old today. And I always loved his style of music, which was very modern for the time, but also very rooted in the classical tradition and counterpoint and so on. He was very scholarly and very steeped in the music of Bach and so on. And he was a great composer of all kinds of music, including choral music. We used to sing some of his choral pieces in college when I was in the chamber singers. Symphonies, 4 great symphonies. He's got his piano concerto. He has wonderful piano pieces. I learned a few of them in high school and college. I suppose the ones that were a little easier because I was never a great classical pianist. But there's one in particular that's in the key of E flat. It's his Lullaby, which I think is quite famous. Something like that. So even though I'm not playing it as he wrote it exactly, anybody familiar with that piece would recognize it just now. But it's played in the key of E flat, and so you start with the tonic or the one chord, the root chord, which is E flat, and then it goes down to the relative minor, which is C minor. And then it can go up to F, which is the 2, the second position, and then it's got a 4 and a 5. So that's the basic structure. And then in the middle there's a kind of a bridge part, not sure what you call it, but it's a minor 1, minor 4, major 7, 5 major 7. So and I forget how the rest of it goes, and then it just goes back into. So I always loved that piece. I used to be able to play it actually in high school or college maybe. Long since forgotten it. Maybe could revive it with a few weeks of practice, but you know, now that I play more kind of pop rock and some simple jazz music, I like to kind of switch things up and vary. And so why not play it in the key of F? In Lydian mode, right? This is Lydian mode. So if you just play all the white keys in F, it's Lydian mode. It sounds a little more whimsical with in Lydian mode. Kind of reminds me a little bit of She's Leaving Home for some reason, because it's modal. Or you could play it in Mixolydian in the key of G, where the seventh note is flatted. So I guess what I'm getting at is that you can just keep riffing on this basic melody, which is just going down the scale. Try it in different modes. You can vary the tone, the pace, the rhythm. Could try it in different major scales and minor scales. So that's kind of what I like to do with classical tunes. I know is just fool around with them, and it's kind of going against the grain of how kids learn classical music, which is reading the sheet music and reading and following it note for note and being faithful to the original composition. But I think it's more fun, and I kind of wish that more young people learned this way, so that it would kind of free them up to be a little bit more spontaneous and improvisational rather than just focused on the pieces that they're reading. But that's just not the way that young people learn music today. I mean, Brahms was a great improviser, so were all the great composers of his age. How else would he have come up with all his wonderful pieces? He was just constantly improvising and playing around. And that's kind of the fun of playing instruments. So anyway, I don't have much else to say except happy birthday, Johannes Brahms, on this May 7th of 2025. And I guess it'll be his 200th anniversary pretty soon in 2033. So I'm looking forward to that, another 8 years from now. Happy birthday, Brahms.